Hey there, Rob Nixon here. Super excited today to talk to the one and only Ray Taggart. So Ray, we met, I believe it was 10 years ago, September 2010.
September 2010, correct.
Yep. And we met
What was it?
It was called Supercharge, Your Accounting Firm, a conference I put on.
Yep.
And bizarre story, it turned out that Ray had bought a car that I'd just traded in. So that was pretty cool. And we hit it off like that. And then for the next 4 years, I think it was 4 years, Ray was part of my coaching program. We called it Coaching Club back then. And I want to just go back 10 years ago because we've become friends since then, which is great. Go back 10 years ago and see what the firm was like compared to what it's like today, 10 years later, because it's vastly different. So do you remember, first of all, do you remember what the revenue, the profit, and what your time was back 10 years ago?
Before we go there, I'm just going to go on the car. We met at Supercharge event, 2010, September, as you said. And the car that I bought was a supercharged Range Rover.
It was a supercharged Range Rover.
A supercharged Range Rover. And that's the thing that, that catalyst, if you like, into the next phase. So my firm back then...
It was fortuitous, by the way. It's very fortuitous.
It was very much so.
Yeah.
So the firm back then was maybe 3 people. I'd only just started, maybe 1 or 2 years in, $500,000 worth of revenue. And we were looking at what do we need to do to move this business forward, but not only forward in a traditional sense, but forward in a big way. That's what it was like. And the numbers were good, but they needed to be better.
And I'd imagine back then, because we're just talking about it this afternoon, we've just been playing golf this afternoon at my place. You were on the tools a lot, working in the business a lot, doing a lot of the client work.
Yeah, a lot of the client work. I was doing a lot of the advisory work, I guess. And I had 1 or 2 team members, I think from memory, that were primary involved in the preparation of tax returns and financial statements and those sorts of things, the tax compliance work. But, you know, I didn't do too much of the tax compliance, but heavily involved in everything else.
So classic sole practitioner, new business, you know, really working your butt off to do anything great. So, so that was 2010, which is 10 years ago, right? Long time. Let's fast forward to 2013. And if you recall, Ray, in February 2013, we were at a conference in Queenstown.
Yep.
And you presented a proposal to the group. We had 155 accountants in the room.
That's true.
And you tap me on the shoulder on the break and said, can we have a chat? I want to talk to you about this particular client situation.
That is true.
Yep. And if you remember, I said, okay, Ray, what we're going to do, we'll put you on stage and you tell the story to the audience and they will price your job, because it was a pricing question.
Absolutely, yeah.
How much should I charge for this client, right?
Presented to the group as a whole.
Yeah. And I remember when we said, okay, how much would you charge for that? The price range was from 50,000 to 450,000, right?
I think I was at 50.
You're at 50, right?
Yeah, I thought I was pretty good at 50.
And I remember saying to the audience, Ray, don't tell them what you're thinking, let them price it for you.
But in my mind, I was at 50.
Yeah. And so what did you settle on for that particular project, if you remember?
Yeah, it is pretty clear. As a result of the presenting it to the group as a whole and hearing the varying different scenarios about what people would charge for the work that I was doing, we eventually settled on a fee of about $325,000.
And the client said yes.
They said yes in a heartbeat.
And that was probably too low.
It might have been.
Now, which is awesome for a value pricing project. Something else happened at that particular event. If you remember, you met a friend of mine, Natalie Cook, and she inspired you and your team to set themes.
She did.
And goals. And the next month, because it's a very, it's such a great story. The next month we were meeting, and so now we are March 13. And if I recall, you said to me, I think we'll do 850,000 profit this year. So we go back a few years, there was nothing close to that. We've had 3 years of coaching.
That's right.
And we're at 850. And I said, Ray, I reckon you can do $1 million.
That's what you said.
That's
yes.
what I said, right? I reckon you can do $1 million.
No way I can do $1 million.
No way. And then, if you remember, the group that you were in sort of cajoled you into believing that you could do $1 million. And I asked the question, Ray, so if you get $1 million, how are you going to reward yourself? Do you remember the answer?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Yeah. If I hit $1 million worth of profit, I was going to buy my dream car.
Which was, if I recall, a Porsche something?
It was a Porsche. It was a GT3.
GT3.
In fact, it was a green GT3.
We put the picture on the screen.
I had a little model.
Yep.
I had a model GT3 green car, which I sat in front of me.
And then we said, okay, great. We may hit $1 million. We may get the Porsche GT3. What about the team? How do we get the team engaged, right? And so that perplexed you, and you went back to the team and said, okay, team, this is what we're targeting.
Yep.
And noticingly, had you opened up the books to the team as to how much money you were making?
Not before that.
Not before that.
No.
So this is the first time.
Yeah.
And so you've gone to the team and said, okay, team, I think we can do $1 million because I'm getting hassled by these people over here. And you said, what reward would you like to do that? What'd they say?
Exactly right. What I did is I put it out to the team and I said, if we did X, what could we do for the team as a whole? And I let them come up with the ideas. So they came up with a few ideas of where they would like to go as a group to travel together, which was great. And they came up with a few ideas, but the one idea they came up with, and I thought if we did X, Y, and Z, we could do that. But then they came out with this audacious, outrageous goal, which was Las Vegas. And I thought to myself, look, you know what? I'm going to run with this. I will go with Las Vegas, but the goal's no longer here. It's here. And that's what I did. So I set the goal high.
And
they set their goal high. I set my goal high.
And do you remember what the number was at the end of June 30? So this is now March. We've got a few months to go before your financial year, June 30. We're in Brisbane, Australia. We've got a carrot to go to Las Vegas. Do you remember what profit was that particular year?
I don't remember exactly what the profit was before, but I do know that the profit goal was $1 million. And that's
and you got it
and we got it. So basically I challenged them being the entire team, to go from X to Z, and they did this with astounding vigor and achieved it with probably a month to go. Now, I didn't tell them that they had achieved the result that I actually set initially at the beginning of June, because I was thinking, like, we're on a good roll here. Let's just keep this thing going. So we rolled it all the way to the end of June, and around about the 28th of June, I said to the guys, we got it. What they didn't know is that we had achieved it by 20% more. It was just a massive achievement. Massive.
And ever since then, which is congratulations again.
Well, that was 2013.
That was 13. And then every year since then, I believe you've had a travel goal with the team.
We have done what we've done every year. And this is not something that I've developed myself. It's something that I learned from the master. But basically, we have a 3-tiered reward system. So we have a minimum requirement, a middle tier, and then a top tier. And the top tier was set in 2013 when we went to New York. So every year we set bottom.
19, last year, New York.
No, 2000, sorry. We got to New York in 2019.
Yeah.
2013, we got to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But since then, we've always set 3 tiers. And the amazing thing is that the team never focus on the bottom 2 rewards.
Just always the top one?
Never.
Wow.
They never focus on the bottom 2, ever.
How big's the gap between 1, 2, and 3? 3 being the top.
Well, 3's got to be an out there goal.
Yeah.
So we get 2,000. The minimum reward is always something that we think they can get to.
Yeah.
The middle reward is a bit of a stretch. The top reward is if they've done exceptional.
So you've got an annual now revenue, because you told me last year, flipped it from profit to revenue, revenue goal. And if I recall...
Because I control profit.
You control profit, sure. Yeah. But if I recall a couple of years ago, a Paris goal. You missed out by 10,000 or something.
We did, and we didn't go.
Yeah, 10 grand.
Yep,
it
was a French theme. So every year we have a theme, and that year was I think it was maybe 2000 and might have been 2016, but we had a French theme, and the top reward was Paris. The middle reward was New Caledonia, which is French speaking. So that was the next thing. And the bottom reward, I think, was the French hotel.
Like a dinner at a French restaurant or something.
Yeah. Yes, it was something.
And you missed out by $10,000.
But we missed out on $10,000 going to New York. Sorry, I said
Paris,
New York because I keep saying New York because that's where we went last year.
Yeah.
But to Paris, we didn't get to go there, but we took the whole team on a cruise from Brisbane to New Caledonia for 5 days. That was the second prize. And yeah, we did the whole French speaking thing, and
awesome.
That was part of the theme. But it's probably the second or third time that we've achieved the second reward.
Mm-hmm.
We've achieved the bottom reward, I think, twice.
Yep.
Once we missed out altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And we've actually done the top reward twice. Once in 2013,
Vegas,
which was Vegas,
yeah.
and 2019, which was New York.
Awesome.
So given the current circumstances, we're all pretty lucky that we've been to New York in the last 12 months and really enjoyed it.
I want to change gears a bit and talk about your time in this business. You know, so we spent 3 or 4 years, I think it was 4 years coaching, working with each other.
I think it was 4 years.
Yep. And that was enough, right? You got the idea. Yeah, away you go.
We took all the good stuff.
All the good stuff. And one thing you told me this afternoon is that you're working in time. So I've given Ray one of my working on and in hats. You're working in time these days, and still well over $1 million profit, still a sole practitioner, is literally close to zero. You know, you when I was quizzing you earlier on, I was struggling. You're struggling to work out how much working in time. So working in time class is client delivery work, administration work, anything looks like HR, management, IT, firm administration in time, versus working on time, you know, growing, developing the business. You know, so, and you thought, what, an hour a week?
Yeah, I was struggling. You sort of guided me on what I think it might be, because I didn't understand what the question was, basically. And the reason why is because I don't do much of it. But when we sort of worked backwards from, is it 5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it might be, I sort of came up with a number. I think it's 1 hour a week. 1 hour a week is...
Which is awesome.
Well, I didn't know that. But
yeah. And that's, of course, under the index of the profit time index. You know, how much profit do you make?
I love this KPI.
It's a great KPI. To me, that KPI, which I invented last year, is the ultimate outcome number for the partners of the accounting firm.
Yeah.
So it's taking the profit before partner salaries and have working in time divided into that. So if you make 500,000 profit, for example, but the partner working in time is 2,500, therefore $200. If Ray's making, call it $1 million, but your working in time is 50 hours, you're at $20,000 for profit time index,
right? Which is
off the charts, which is where it should be.
I was worried. I thought it might not be enough.
But it's awesome. Like you've got a business here that's growing. What do you say? Bringing on 50 new clients a year? New business
on
clients?
Average, yeah. Last 4 years, 50 new clients a year.
We've got a business that's not reliant on you.
Well, it is a Thursday.
It's a Thursday afternoon.
It is a Thursday, and it is, you know, work hours.
Well, we've been playing golf all afternoon, so it's all fun, right? So, but Ray, this is massive congratulations. Like seriously, we've been catching up a lot the last few years, whether it be on your boat or dinners or whatever, outside of business relationship, more of a friendship. And, you know, you have become the wealthy accountant. You know, you've become, in my view, right? You've got the best of both worlds. You've got the time and the money, you know, to enjoy life, to, you know, enjoy a great lifestyle, to, you know, support your family, and to do basically whatever you want to do. As you said, you've got all this time between 8:30 and 5 o'clock every weekday.
That's the key. So now I'm trying to work out how do I get more of the 8:30 to 5, even though I'm still in the office and I'm skulking around and doing what I do and
doing nothing.
Oh no, I don't do nothing. You know, I'm still responsible for client nurturing. I make the odd phone call to clients and make sure they're happy. And I bring on new clients. I don't do much more than that. But I am still in the office from 8:30 to 5 most days of the week, Monday to Friday. But my challenge is, I guess, is now that we have this machine that works within the confines of what we've learnt over the years, is to how do I claw back a little bit more of that time? Hence the reason why I'm here on a Thursday during work hours. We have a machine that is working, and the machine they are people, and they are servicing our clients and doing what we need to do. And at the end of the day, I don't need to do the work that I'm doing 35 hours or 37 and a half hours a week. I can do that, 25 hours or whatever that goal might be. I haven't set that goal yet. But what I do know is I need to drop it down from whatever I'm doing at the moment, and I'll come to a number. I'm pretty happy that.
But most of your time in office is really with prospective clients.
Prospective clients.
Sales activity.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
There's no client work. It's just basically looking after existing clients, making sure they're okay, and pointing them in the right direction, make sure they're getting the service that they need, and winning new clients.
So what would you say, right? This video is going to be watched by all levels of development.
3 people.
3 people.
I'm joking.
What would you say to a partner of an accounting firm, looking at either, changing their business model, changing their work-life balance, looking to sign up with what we do with our boardroom program? What would you say to them?
I would say stop being an accountant. That's actually what I would stop saying. The one thing that I think that has made a really big difference is my personal philosophy on the accounting industry and what we do as accountants. We're really good at what we do, and we like to do really well, and we pat ourselves on the back when we've done really good things. But the one thing that I've learned is that we should do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. And the opposite is the things that we learn and that are different. So if we work differently and we change our roles and we get our team doing things that they haven't done before and do those sorts of things, then we're acting differently to other accounting firms. If other accounting firms are just doing work, charging time, hours multiplied by rates, those sorts of things, the old traditional models, if you keep doing that, then it'll be what it'll be. But if you want to change it up and do something differently, change your mindset and work in a different way and listen to different concepts, take what works, implement things, implement, throw out what doesn't work and keep what does. But as long as that's different to what the traditional model is, happy days.
Happy days. Mate.
Happy days.
Cheers to that. Well done, buddy.
Thank you.
All the best.
10 years.
10 years. Oh, man.